the third season, now it's going to be a lot about AIs.
An AI called Allie.
The more people Allie can have, the more she can take control of.
This storyline is more similar to Matrix.
We have a guy named Pike.
He's against the Grounders. He manages to convince a large part of the 100, basically get them to attack the Grounders. There is going to be another nuclear explosion on Earth.
That's basically where we're jumping over to season 4. Now it's all about taking cover. Season 5. And here we have two kind of stories that we have to find out now. Not only do we have some people down in the bunkers, but also we do have them up in space. If we're going to think about those in space, what are they doing at this point?
Well, they are trying to getting back to Earth, finding out if it's safe to go back, I guess.
They find out that Clark is still down there.
I think so. I remember that Clark was trying to contact Bellamy, who is in space. So she's been trying to do that for all those years, but it hasn't succeeded. While she's down there on Earth, another ship comes from space. So there's new people that arrives to Earth.
Yeah, and these people are a bunch of miners that have been orbiting Earth. And the funny thing is, now they appear.
I think they had been in cryosleep for a long time up in space.
Yeah, that's right, the cryosleep, I forgot about that. These people, they're basically bad guys, everyone. They're criminals, and here we learn who this person Diosa is, and she's basically the leader of these criminals. The true criminals are they, but everyone is not awake. There are just some of them at first, right?
Yes, they have 200 of them in cryosleep, a smaller group of them that comes back to Earth and starts to check everything out, see if it's safe. Clark sees them and she tries to figure out if they're a danger, and a bunch of stuff happens because it turns out that they aren't good and they want the Earth to themselves.
Yeah, they are. We should have everything, we should rule everything, that's basically it. These guys aren't really friendly to each other either because they're fighting a lot. Diosa is fighting a lot against this other guy. What is he called? The guy with a lot of hair on the side, I think you know who I mean. But he also wants to control basically the whole group, and they start to have a nag to each other. And they start to fight with guns and everything. Those from space have now arrived down to Earth as well. But yeah, they have.
Yes, they arrive to Earth, and they figure out that they can have leverage over those new people on Earth because I think Raven hacked into their ship or something and could kill those who are in cryosleep. So they threaten to do that if they don't release Clark, because they have captured Clark at this point. It's
a mess now. Now it starts to be really annoying here. There is not just Diosa and Clark who wants to work together, because there is someone down in the bunker now who has basically turned her whole life upside down and basically evolved to something completely different. And who is this?
First, Diosa and Clark, they make this deal for peace, because Diosa is pregnant, so she does want peace. But they have the bunker still that they need to open with the rest of the Grounders and the 100. In the bunker, Octavia has taken charge of everything because there were too many people in the bunker, so she decides that they are going to, if someone breaks a rule or something, they have to fight each other, and one person survives, the other one gets killed. They have to resort to cannibalism, so they eat the person who dies. That is something that Octavia basically gets forced to enforce at gunpoint to the people in the bunker, so that makes her crazy because she can't deal with that, and she becomes really just completely crazy.
Yeah, basically, if you've seen Star Wars, she becomes like the Emperor. She becomes like a gladiator ruler or something like that. She renames everyone, so what is called them, one crew. But if you compare Octavia now, she has turned really much, because she was a big brat in the beginning, and then she turns into this evil one. In the end, Diosa decides to help these guys from the bunker. It seems like Octavia doesn't really like this, and she becomes kinda obsessed with trying to take over the whole valley. And she wants to she's ready to kill her whole clan just to get the whole valley for herself. And Diosa is basically the same thing. If you go against us, we will try to kill you as well. Octavia is going into this battle. She realized that she hasn't done something right now. Too many has died, and too many has done some kind of rebellion against her now. She's ready to sacrifice herself if that's what it takes to save everyone. But once the battle is over, I don't remember who won. I don't think anyone did.
that guy that we don't remember the name of, he won like everything at first, I think, but then he realized that he can't have the valley for himself, and then he decides that no one can have it, and he releases another nuclear thing. So the 100 manages to like quickly get back into space, and also Diosa, she also gets back to space, and they realize they have to go back to cryosleep because for 10 years they won't be able to be on Earth, so they have to be in cryo. So that's what happens. But then it turns out that Monty and Harper, they don't go to cryo, they decide to like watch over everything, and they actually put everyone to cryosleep for like 100 years instead of 10 years. So when they wake up, they first wake up Clark and Bellamy because they're like the leaders of the 100. And when they wake up, there's a new guy on the ship, and it turns out that he is Monty and Harper's son. And that's when they find out that Monty and Harper stayed awake to watch over everything, and they have recorded a video, like several video diaries over the years, and to talk about how everything is going. They have like discovered a new planet. That's where they are going to wake up the 100 now, to go to this planet and check it out.
Yeah, so that's how the fifth season ending. We have now a new planet in front of us. What's going on down there? That's what we're gonna find out in the season 6. And this, in my opinion, season 6 is one of the most strangest seasons of them all. At least I couldn't keep up with what's going on there. So we have a new planet now, and they managed to get to it. They find out a little bit kind of settlement down there, and it turns out they are not alone. There are people actually down there. These guys are, can I say, religious? The religion they have down there is just created to maintain peace, because it's only them there. This settlement is called Sanctum, and it's driven by these gods, if I say so. And now is where this Nightblood thing comes in. Can you tell me about what's going on now from here on?
Well, the people in Sanctum, like the leaders, they have found a way to live forever. And the way they do that is they store their minds on a mind drive, like the thing with City of Lights. So they can like die, but their mind is still on the drive, so they just put the mind drive into a new body. But it only works if somebody has Nightblood, so they need people who has that.
Yeah, are you confused? I am. It's very weird, and it becomes even worse. We find out in this season that there is a lady for many years ago called Josefine, and once they paralyzing Clark, Josefine ends up in her mind, and then Josefine has to infiltrate the crew that she is in. She tricks everyone, Clark is dead, but then Clark somehow makes it back by fighting Josefine in her own mind.
She has had the mind drive before of being a leader of the Grounders. Her mind is sort of backed up already, so she can survive even though her body has been taken over by someone else.
But these guys, I don't know how they find the technology to do this in the first place. Something is also going on with Maddie now. We have to backtrack a little bit now. Octavia becomes a idol for Maddie. So she starts to train with Octavia, and Maddie becomes some kind of a new leader after Octavia. But then she has to train her mind to not meet this, what's called Sheheda. It's basically if Darth Sidious from Star Wars will get into your mind and start controlling you. She starts to go against everyone. She is ready to kill basically everyone, just because Sheheda is ready to release himself. All of a sudden now we also do have a thing going on in the forest, because we have a guy called Gabriel who lived at the same time as Josephine. Remember, this is way back in time right now. This had happened the same thing. His mind were transferred over to another body now. But then there's this green flame coming up all of a sudden. So what's going on here?
The Sanctum first, they kick out Octavia and Diosa because they're known as these horrible, evil leaders, so they aren't allowed in Sanctum. They try to survive outside of Sanctum, in the wild out there, and that's where they run into those who... There's a different group of people who rebel against Sanctum because they're against what they're doing with killing people and taking over their bodies. And the leader of those people is Gabriel. Octavia and Diosa meet him. There's also this green fog out there that makes you hallucinate. It's like a portal that you can go into, but Gabriel says that no one who has gone in has ever come back. But since Diosa starts to hallucinate from the green fog, she goes into it, and then Octavia, she runs in after Diosa to save her. And Octavia comes out again. She's like the first person who has come out, been able to come out from the portal again. Gabriel, he has to like find out. He gets very like, he needs to know why she was able to come back and what she saw when she was in there and everything.
And Gabriel, he is really this smart guy. He knows everything, and when there's a mystery, he needs to know what's actually going on here. And that's basically where the season 6 ends.